All right, so we're looking at day 5, measures of central tendency. Once you obtain an unbiased sample of a variable in a population, which we talked about previously, you generally want to begin organizing the data. One of the most common measurement types is measures of central tendency, which would be the average, or sometimes known as the median. The mean. Let me repeat that. The average and the mean. And then we have a median, which is a bit different. And then we also have a mode, which is also a bit different. So we'll discuss those in the next few moments. Okay. First thing we're going to talk about is what is the arithmetic average or mean. In order to find an arithmetic average, what you're going to do is you're going to do 75 plus 83 plus 97 plus 58. Here's our data up here. Okay. Plus blah, 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 blah. All of these numbers, 82. And you're going to divide by the quantity of numbers, the total sample size. So let's say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of these things. And this is going to be your arithmetic average, okay? The geometric average is, oops, I didn't mean to cross that out. I meant to underline it. The geometric average is going to be similar, but it's going to be 75 times 83 times 97 times ... times 82. Basically, you're multiplying all the numbers. And instead of dividing by 10, you take the 10th root, okay? And so remember, to take the 10th root on your calculator, oftentimes calculators have a button that looks like this, Y and X, where it's basically a square root where you can choose the root here, okay? So it's not a square root, it's like a nth root or whatever, a yth root. So you can choose to put a 10 there, for example, or a 15 or whatever you want, really. Otherwise, you could raise, if I want to take a root, you could raise something. So, oops, that's supposed to be a little caret. This is on your calculator. Oftentimes you have a little caret symbol as well. You can raise it to the 1 divided by 10, and you would probably need to put this in parentheses so that your calculator knows more of what you would do, right? And so this would be your x value, and you would raise it to the 1/10, okay? That's what we're looking at there. All right, so just a quick thing. What's the difference between these two? We discussed them in the past. I just want to reiterate the difference between them. The arithmetic mean is if your sample comes from multiple individuals, whereas the geometric mean is where your sample comes from a single individual, but at various times, okay? And you just end up with something like that, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to also look at the median, okay? Now, in order to get the median, what you do is you take the data and you actually have to put it in numerical order, okay? And so what I'll probably have to do is I'll have to leave a little bit of space here. And so I'll do something like this. So I'm going to search for my lowest number on the list here. Here it is, 73. And I'll write it down. And then the next lowest number is 75. And then we've got another 75. Oh, shoot, there's 58 right there. I messed up. So I got 58, 73, 75, 75. Okay. Let's see, what else are we looking at here? We got a 79. Looks like we've got a couple of 82s. Two of them. Okay. 82. Then we've got an 83, an 88, and a 97. I was count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 just to make sure I got all of those. Okay. And now to get the median, you would go to the middle number. Okay. So what I've done, I've seen people do, cross out 1, 2, make a little, there we go. The middle number would be 79/82. Well, which one is it? Well, oftentimes what people do is they take an arithmetic mean of those two middle numbers if you happen to have a middle number like that. So you would basically go halfway between 79 and 82. So 79, 80, 81, 82, that's 3 digits between them, right? Half of that is 1.5. And so you're talking 1.5 above 79. So 79, 80.5. This would be the median. Okay. That would be the median. The modes. What are modes? Modes are the most frequently occurring number. And so you would actually see that in this data, you've got a mode of 75 and a mode of 82. And that would be a mode. Okay. Now, let's continue on. Weighted averages. Sometimes certain parts of data are more important than others. If this is true, you can take what's called a weighted average. A classic example of a weighted average is the idea of a test versus a quiz. So let's take some data, same data as above, but the first 5 happen to be tests, and the second 5 happen to be quizzes. Okay? Find the weighted average such that the tests are twice as important as the quizzes. Okay. Well, I'm going to do a weighted average. So if the tests happen to be twice as important as the quizzes, that means for every for every test, it should be valued basically kind of like 2 quizzes in a way, right? So the easy way to do this would be to find the average of the tests and find the average of the quizzes, okay? And I'm going to use an arithmetic average because these are, let's say, a bunch of individual various tests, okay? And so I'm going to do 75 plus 83 plus 97 plus 58 plus 75. And then that's the tests. And here's the quizzes, okay? The first 5 are tests, right? So this is 79 plus 82 plus 88 plus 73 plus 82. All right. There we go. And now, well, that's all fine and dandy, but if I do it like this, they're going to be equal the same, actually. And so basically what I want is I would like my tests to have twice the power of the quizzes. So I'm going to multiply the tests by 2, and I'm going to multiply the quizzes by 1, okay? And then I actually need to divide each of them by a 3, okay? And that'll go ahead and give me a weighted average. And this one I'm going to go ahead and calculate through. Let me pause the video and I'll calculate it out. All right, so I went ahead and did that, and I just want to show you, you're going to want to do this in a sort of particular way. This section here is the average of 5 tests, and it's this. Okay, and then this section here is the average of 5 quizzes, and it's that. And then if you notice, I've left the 2/3 and the 1/3, sort of the 2/3 and the 1/3 and the plus sign, the 2/3, the 1/3 and the plus sign. I've left those there. And now you basically multiply this by 2/3, save that answer, multiply this by 1/3, save that answer, and then you add the two for a total of 78.6. So this 1/3 and this 2/3 is a requirement. Because remember, if you don't end up doing this 1/3 and 2/3, then the weighting is not correct. And not only that, you would have a really large average here, right? So imagine not taking this 1/3 here, because look at this yellow part is 77 and this blue part is 80. So if I just went ahead and added them, I'd have an average of over 100. And you'd be like, well, wait a minute, how can 10 numbers average to over 100 and none of them are even over 100? So that's what you would do there, okay? All right, so now the next one is find the weighted average such that the tests are 70% of the total and the quizzes are 30, right? And so we would do basically the same idea, but it's almost the same. It's going to be almost the same number. Basically, what I would do is I would take the average of the 5 tests, which would be 77.6, and I would add to it, right, the average of the 5 quizzes, which would be 80.6, okay? And I'm going to multiply this by tests by 0.7, and I'm going to multiply this by 0.3, okay? And that's going to be a weighted average where you've got a percentage instead, right? And what you're going to get is almost the same number as above. So let me just calculate 77.6 times 0.7 plus 80.6 times 0.3. Hopefully I did that right. 78.5. 78.5. All right, and then you could kind of say that these are percentages here. So that's kind of the idea. Averaging grouped data. If your data is grouped, I should say grouped here, it is customary to use the midpoint of the group as the focus. So find the mean and the median and the modes of the following grouped data, okay? So here we've got some data, and it looks like this is the number of people who get this amount of sleep. This is the number of people who get that amount of sleep, and so forth, okay? Question is, well, how much do those 4 people get? Well, I don't know. Do they get 5 or do they get 8? Well, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 3 numbers between these, right? 5 and 8. 5 through 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the midpoint of that group, right, to get, and I'm going to basically say that those 4 people, all 4 of those people, get the halfway point between 5 and 8, right? So how do I find the halfway point? Well, what you can do when they're close like this, you just be like 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's three numbers between them. So half of that is 1.5. Add that to 5, and you get 6.5, right? So these guys are going to be a 6.5. Another way of doing it would be to take 8 plus 11 and take that whole thing and divide by 2, or 9.5. Okay, this one would be 11 plus 14 divided by 2, or 12.5. And this would be 14.4, 15, 16, 17. So 15.5. Okay, that's a 15.5. And basically, what we're going to make the assumption is that each one of the people in this group of 4 get a 6.5. So if I want to average my total average sleep for this entire group of people, it's going to be 6.5 times 4, right? Plus 9.5 times 8, plus 12.5 times 5, that's a point, right? Times 5, plus 15.5 times 3. And this whole thing is divided by the total number of people, or 4 plus 8 plus 5 plus 3. And that's basically my average hours of sleep that I'm going to get there. Let me go ahead and calculate that as well. All right, so there is our grouped average. It's 10.55 hours. Oh, I just wanted to mention this here was supposed to be a 5, right? A 9.5. Okay. The median, right? The median is going to be a little more tricky. So let's do the median. Okay. So basically that means I've got 6.5 and I got 4 people with a 6.5, right? Then I got 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people with a 9.5, right? And then I've got, 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with a 12.5, okay? And then I got 3 people, 1, 2, 3, with a 15.5, okay? You can kind of take a look at this. And now, basically, the middle would be, somewhere around here, right? So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. But what is the middle? Well, remember, each of these people have a 9.5. So therefore, the median sleep would be 9.5 hours, to the best of our knowledge, right? I mean, because the data is grouped, so we don't really know what the median is, but the best we can do would be that. Mode would be the most frequently occurring number, and so the mode would also be 9.5 because it appears 8 times, okay? So that's measures of central tendency.